sixth straight gold medal in the competition. His opponent, Patrice Brooks of the USA.
Julio Gonzalez, the defending world champion, the reigning world champion, the defending Pan Am champion, outstanding boxing skills. His opponent, Patrice Brooks of the United States, 20-year-old student at St. Louis Community College, won last year's Olympic Festival. He has some international experience. Patrice, of all the American boxers, has adjusted the worst to the conditions here in Cuba. He's had about 4 or 5 days of very bad intestinal flu. He says he's been okay the last 2 days.
The referee for the bout is Antonio Bernaldo of Brazil. This is round 1. Brooks in the blue top, Gonzalez in the red.
And there you see Julio Gonzalez looking about as awkward as I've ever seen him look. He generally is just a mechanical robot. Tall, obviously, very tall. For a lightweight, 132 pounds. We don't know exactly how tall because the Cubans won't let us measure him. But he's just a mechanic. You see there, pick with the left jab. Get out, don't get hit. He's the consummate amateur boxer. Patrice Brooks, the southpaw American, good reflexes, good boxer himself. Patrice likes to fight a very controlled pace. He doesn't like awkward, kind of brawling, aggressive opponents. And Julio Gonzalez really is not that kind of an opponent, so that's to Patrice's advantage. His disadvantage is that Gonzalez just is a great boxer.
And he showed it earlier in the tournament as he had 1 stoppage to his credit, and he defeated Delroy Leslie of Jamaica by a margin of 14-3. So it hasn't even been close in the case of Julio Gonzalez of Cuba. Brooks jabbing, but not finding anything on the other end.
Again, a good right by Gonzalez. And he's got Patrice Brooks backing up, but Patrice does not back up well. Very few boxers do, but Patrice likes to come forward behind his jab, and he just has been totally blown out here in the first half of round 1.
Gonzalez hit him with a swooping left hook that just glanced off the chin of Patrice Brooks, and there, Gonzalez lands another one. Patrice Brooks
is just eating right hands right now.
Oh boy, is he ever.
Some people think that's the way to beat a southpaw, is to drill right hands, and Julio Gonzalez has done it. Caution there. I believe the referee's going to have the doctor take a look at Patrice Brooks. He may have a cut. We don't see one.
There is blood.
There must be one.
There is blood coming from his mouth.
Looks like the lower lip.
Here in amateur boxing, they are very concerned with the aesthetics. They don't like to see a lot of blood dripping from.
Don't get worried, by the way, Mark. That the Americans wear red mouthpieces, so don't get worried about all that red you saw when he opened his mouth. There was blood, but not that much.
We'll have to see if this wakes Patrice Brooks up any.
Poor Patrice has had trouble sleeping all week. And he is weak. I mean, whatever he says, you can't be strong enough to fight world champions on a diet of potato chips the way Patrice Brooks has tried to do.
Now the near-capacity crowd starting to sense something happening as Gonzalez hits Brooks with a right. Follows up with a combination. And Brooks clinches.
And Gonzalez, Julio Gonzalez of Cuba in the red, is getting very aggressive for him. There, caution to the Cuban from the referee for holding. Gonzalez senses that he's got nothing in front of him, and he wants to take Patrice Brooks out. That is not like Julio Gonzalez.
Very long, very lean, but he does have a bit of pop in his gloves.
And there, that is very unusual too. And he gets a caution from the referee.
A little posturing on the part of the Cuban.
Bolo punching was great for Kid Gavilan when there was pro boxing in Cuba, but the amateurs frown on it.
One of the great Cuban boxers of the past. And a standing 8 count now being issued to Patrice Brooks, the first one of the bout.
Not for any particular blow, but simply because Patrice was getting hit repeatedly.
Winding down to the end of the first round. This is second round action at the lightweight final between Patrice Brooks of the United States and Julio Gonzalez of Cuba. Brooks trying to break the American drought. They are 0-5 against the Cubans in the Pan Am Games.
And in the corner, Coach Kenny Lord told Patrice Brooks of the United States in the blue on the right, you've got to move to your right. And Patrice knew what he was talking about. The only way to avoid that Gonzalez right hand that Patrice has been eating is to get out of the way, to move in the way that it's natural for a southpaw to move, and that's to the right.
Gonzalez getting in and out, throwing combinations. Brooks landed a short left jab, right jab. American to win in this division was Pernell Whitaker in 1983. And Americans hoping that the sweepie this time is going to stand for Patrice, but so far it hasn't been the case.
Pernell Whitaker is an outstanding professional, but he was an unbelievable amateur. I mean, his whole boxing skills, defensively and offensively, are set up to be a great amateur. I thought he really deserved to be named the outstanding amateur at the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles. You see Patrice trying to fight back here, not as much aggression from Gonzalez. He's giving Patrice a little bit more distance, and that's what Patrice likes. He likes to be able to come forward, and he is coming forward now.
And now he traps Gonzalez on the ropes, but Gonzalez slips away.
Never know what goes through a boxer's mind, but why Gonzalez, who was just tattooing Patrice at the end of round 1, would adopt this kind of a style coming out in round 2 that allowed Patrice to get back into a little bit.
And Brooks might have been hurt by that right hand.
Yeah, allowed him to get back in as long as Gonzalez didn't throw the right. As soon as he threw the right, he caught him with it and has caught him repeatedly with it.
He's getting drilled with the left and a standing 8 count to Patrice Brooks, and he pleads in protest.
He pleads in protest and he wipes the blood away from his face. He's a mess.
Patrice Brooks trying to survive here in round 2. Fighting gamely. Brooks has Gonzalez against the ropes, and then Gonzalez turns the tables.
And the referee cautions. I thought he was going to give another standing 8. Cautions Patrice Brooks for turning his back on his opponent. Oh, solid right hand. Best punch of the bout by the Cuban on the left.
And another right hand. Gonzalez enjoying target practice.
And even though Patrice, you see him every once in a while trying to move to his right, you see Gonzalez hooking and keeping him right in front of him. Watch the left by Gonzalez. He's keeping Patrice in front of him so he can land the right.
Alex, do you think we may see the referee or the jury stop it anytime soon?
Well, we've seen the jury, which we've never seen before. We've seen the jury actually stop bouts 3 times in this tournament. But Patrice Brooks has to be right on the verge, and he knows it.
Winding down to the end of the second round. Well, we're back for the third and final round of this lightweight final between Patrice Brooks of the United States and Julio Gonzalez of Cuba. Gonzalez trying to make it 5 straight for the Cuban boxing team. They have 5 goals.
Julio Gonzalez in the red, the right-handed boxer again landing the right, has to have the left and the right. Gonzalez has to have a huge lead. I mean, Patrice Brooks has had his moment. He has had scoring blows, but they have been very few and very far between.
I mentioned earlier, Alex, that the Cuban boxers had 5 goals already. I want to correct myself. They only have 4.
In the Cuban corner, Alcides Segarra told Gonzalez, be smart. When you hit him, don't stand there. Get out. Think about defense.
Patrice Brooks fighting gamely here in round 3.
And I think one of the reasons that Alcides Segarra would be so, as the referee steps in there for a moment, he's going to bring Patrice Brooks over to the American corner to check on a shoelace that's come untied on his right boot. Let's just make a point. It may be that Segarra, who you see there, the man referred to as the cast there, you saw him. We talked about the intelligence, just pointed to his head. Use your head.
And now the referee, Alex, is telling Gonzalez to look at me. Don't get any coaching from the corner.
One of the reasons that Segarra may be cautioning Gonzalez is that this bout has been marked by as much hard punching as we have ever seen in an amateur tournament. Almost half the bouts, well, 42% of the bouts, have failed to go the distance coming into today's bout. And it's partially because, and I think predominantly because of the Cuban gloves they're wearing. Batos gloves, we talked about it before. Very little padding across the knuckles where the contact is made and where you get your power. And a number of Cubans have been hit hard, and one of them, Juan Hernandez, was actually dropped by a very inferior opponent. Came back to win the bout, obviously, but you can't take chances. Oh, again, Patrice Brooks went down himself. I don't know what happened. There was no blow struck, and he's going to get a count. And the referee may take, no, he's going to let him go on.
Okay.
I have no idea what happened. No blow struck. He just went down to gather himself because something was bothering him.
Now that was the 3rd standing 8 for Brooks. One more in the bout, and it'll be over.
Julio Gonzalez can count. And you can see him trying to get that fourth standing 8.
Less than a minute to go in the third round. Julio Gonzalez still throwing punches. Brooks trying to slide them on the ropes. Now they clinch. Referee issuing a caution to Gonzalez.
Patrice Brooks, give him credit. He's thoroughly outclassed, but he's in there firing. He has not been healthy. He's been terribly depleted by an inability to eat and drink. Now the referee steps in. He's going to have the doctor look again at Patrice Brooks. But despite all that, despite being in with a world champion, he has hung in there, barely.
They are putting some tissue on the inside of Brooks's mouth, trying to absorb some of that blood. The referee watching intently. And he lets it continue. Gonzalez still punching, and he caught Brooks with the left.
And continues in the closing seconds of the bout to find a home for that right hand.
It's over.
You see the jubilation in the Cuban corner, and it's justified. Solid performance by their world champion. Let's take a look at that strange moment in round 3 where Patrice Brooks went down. We didn't see a blow landed. Let's take a look again at the action. Patrice leads with a right. Gonzalez comes with a left over. Patrice continues to pursue. 2 blows that missed. We didn't see him land. And all of a sudden, Patrice went down. No idea what happened. Let's go up for the decision.
Vencedor por puntos en la esquina roja de Cuba,